Have you ever felt like your mind is a battlefield, overwhelmed by anxiety and frustration? What if I told you that in the midst of life's greatest challenges, there's a way to remain calm and steadfast? Imagine, just for a moment, that you have the power to control your reactions to everything around you. Sometimes, our minds can feel like a chaotic battlefield, overwhelmed with the noise of anxiety, frustration, and the weight of inevitable hardships. In these moments, it's easy to crumble under the pressure, feeling as though life is pushing you into a corner. But what if you could find a way to stand strong, even when it feels like everything is falling apart? If you're feeling exhausted right now, take a pause, just 60 seconds. In that time, listen to the timeless wisdom of the Stoic philosophers, who faced unimaginable challenges yet maintained a calm, steady heart through it all. These ancient thinkers endured some of the greatest storms humanity can face, and still, they found ways to preserve their inner peace. Can you imagine how that might feel? Think of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who stood alone at the helm of power, living through wars, plagues, and relentless loss. Despite all of this, he reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength amid the storms of life." His words serve as a powerful reminder that while we can't control what happens around us, we always have the ability to control how we respond. Marcus chose to stand firm, and you can too. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless or detached from the world. It's about mastering your reactions to the world. It's about feeling deeply but refusing to be a slave to those emotions. Life throws challenges at us every day, but how we respond to them makes all the difference. It's not about avoiding emotions, it's about learning to rise above them. In this video, I'm going to share 8 classic Stoic teachings. These aren't just abstract ideas. Each lesson carries the distilled wisdom of thousands of years, accompanied by practical analysis and real-life examples. You'll not only hear these ideas, you'll be able to start practicing them immediately. The wisdom of these Stoic philosophers has saved countless souls over centuries. Today, it can help heal your mind and strengthen your heart too. If you're ready to embark on this journey within, leave a comment saying, "I'm ready." We'll begin this transformation together right now. Remember, we often suffer more in our imagination than in reality. Imagine this. It's a rainy evening, and the sound of raindrops softly echoes outside your window. You're sitting in a dimly lit room, but your mind is elsewhere, drifting toward a terrible scenario that hasn't even happened yet. This is what Seneca was talking about when he said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." At first, it may seem like simple comfort, but there's a deeper truth to uncover. Think about it. 90% of the worries that weigh on your mind are scenarios that your mind has created, scary stories playing on repeat. Our brains are natural storytellers, constantly imagining worst-case scenarios. If you're behind on a project, your mind might start painting pictures of failure, job loss, and a bleak future. If someone you love doesn't reply to a message right away, your mind might weave tales of betrayal and abandonment. We don't suffer because of reality. We suffer because of the horror movies we play in our heads. And what's more frightening is that the more we believe these imagined stories, the more our negative emotions drown out our reason. A small worry, left unchecked, can grow into a dense forest of fear, blocking all paths to clear thinking. When our minds are clouded with imagined fears, we lose our ability to see things as they truly are. We stop seeing an exam paper as just a test and start seeing only failure. We stop seeing opportunities and start seeing only humiliation. Take Luke, for example. He was a first-year university student, already struggling with sleepless nights before his exams. His mind raced through every worst-case scenario, failing the subject, disappointing his parents, ruining his future. For 2 weeks, he lived in this mental storm, paralyzed by fears that had yet to happen. What Luke didn't realize was that the exam itself was only a small part of the picture. The real test was the battle taking place inside his own mind. Now that we've touched on how our minds can magnify fear, let's dive deeper into how Stoicism can help us break free from this cycle. Ready? Let's continue on to the next step in mastering your mind. As we saw earlier, many times, the worries and fears in our minds can make us feel like we're drowning in a storm. But when we face reality, we realize that these storms were mere illusions. One of the most powerful lessons of Stoicism is self-control in managing our emotions and thoughts. Luke's story is a perfect example. Before his exam, he spent 2 weeks full of stress, sleepless nights, and images of failure constantly replaying in his head. He feared getting expelled, losing his scholarship, and watching his future collapse. But when he walked into the exam room, everything he imagined didn't happen. The questions were far easier than he had expected, and he ended up with a B+, a well-deserved result. More importantly, all the storms in his mind were nothing more than illusions. They had never been real. How many times have you been like Luke? How many times have you tortured yourself with worries that never even came true? If you answer honestly, you'll realize that 90% of the suffering we experience stems from imagined stories in our minds, not actual events. So, what should we do to break free from this cycle? Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, gave a simple yet powerful piece of advice. Recognize it when anxiety strikes. Don't rush to believe it. Pause. Grab a pen and paper. Write down the 3 things you are most worried about right now. Then, next to each, estimate the probability of it happening with a specific number. Most of the time, you'll find the likelihood is less than 30%. Sometimes it's just 10%. Sometimes almost 0. This small exercise, although simple, delivers a powerful blow that cuts through 90% of the vines of suffering. By writing it out and quantifying it, you drag your vague fears into the light of reason. And once exposed to light, those fears no longer haunt you. Try it right now. What are you most worried about? Write it down. What's the probability? Chances are you'll smile and realize you've just lifted an invisible burden off your shoulders. Choose not to drown in the fictional movies playing in your mind. Choose to face reality, because no matter how harsh it might seem, reality is always smaller than the nightmares we imagine. In the end, You are the one who can steer the flow of your mind, not the anxious brain. Remember, real suffering might come someday, but you don't have to shackle yourself before the battle even begins. Start today by practicing how to face your worries. Write them down and lift them out of your heart. Let your wisdom heal the invisible wounds. Let your reason steady the rhythm of your heart. And when the rain continues to fall outside, you'll smile, calm as a rock beneath the stream. Steady and unmoved before the storms your mind once imagined. As Epictetus said, it is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Whether it's rain or shine, our mood will always change depending on how we perceive and judge the situation. But how can you change the way you perceive things? The answer will unfold in the next part. As we've seen, the key to transforming our lives lies in how we perceive the world around us. This subtle shift in perspective can have a profound impact on how we experience challenges. Let's dive deeper into how this shift unfolds in our daily lives and why it's so powerful. The true difference lies in seeing what remains, not what's missing. It's not about erasing difficulties from our lives. Rather, it's about facing them with strength and resilience. When we adjust our filter, just a small shift in our mindset, we unlock a lighter, more resilient version of ourselves. The change can be as simple as replacing I have to with I get to. Imagine this. I have to work under pressure becomes I get to build resilience. In a challenging environment, I have to take care of a sick loved one shifts to I get to love and accompany them through these precious days. I have to wake up early to go to work transforms into I get to start a new day with a body that still moves and a spirit still burning bright. The word have to carries with it the weight of obligation and burden. But get to opens the door to opportunity and gratitude. By changing the filter through which we view our experiences, we change not just the rhythm of our thoughts, but also the pulse of our lives. The best part, we have the power to choose this filter at any given moment. We don't need to wait for external circumstances to change. We don't need to wait for apologies or for the world to become kinder. When faced with adversity, it's essential to remember that it's not the events themselves that cause us pain. Rather, it's the stories we tell ourselves about those events. So, let's take a step back. Before we react, let's ask ourselves, what lens am I viewing this situation through? Could there be a gentler, steadier filter I could choose instead? Let's allow ourselves to become new storytellers, not ones who deny hardship, but ones who refuse to be imprisoned by it. Picture this. You look at the rain, and instead of seeing it as a burden, you smile. The rain falling on the roof isn't there to steal your joy. It's a reminder of the warmth that still remains. This is the essence of Stoicism, not fighting against life, but moving through it with a clear mind and a steadfast heart. Have you ever labeled an event as negative without fully understanding it? Maybe today is the day to try a different perspective. Share your story with us, and let's take that small action together, one step at a time. We'll heal our minds and steady our hearts. Remember, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius' words might sound paradoxical at first, How can an obstacle possibly become the way forward? But consider this. A rushing river meets a massive boulder. It doesn't complain. It doesn't retreat. Instead, it weaves around the obstacle, wears it down, and over time, the boulder becomes part of the river's flow. The obstacle doesn't disappear. It becomes integral to the journey itself. When Marcus said, "What stands in the way becomes the way," he wasn't just talking about endurance. He was pointing to a deeper power, the power of transformation. It's not just about standing firm in the face of hardship, nor is it about giving up. It's about turning every challenge into a building block for the bridge that will carry us forward. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. She didn't sit in a cozy cafe, sipping tea, planning to write the next great novel. The harsh reality of not being able to afford heating in her small apartment forced her to write in a cold cafe, where she would sip cheap tea and let magical stories unfold on the page. Her obstacle, the cold, became a catalyst for her creative journey. And as we move forward, ask yourself, what obstacles are in your way right now? How might they transform into opportunities? The journey is never easy, but with the right mindset, every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth. And now, as we continue, let's explore how we can further strengthen our resilience and transform the inevitable challenges ahead. As we saw earlier, challenges aren't just obstacles, but opportunities for growth. And that's the very lesson Marcus Aurelius shared with us. The stories of those who overcame difficulties are not just about resilience, but also about how they viewed those challenges. That's the key to unlocking doors of change and development. We all have stories of the challenges we've faced. Maybe it was an unproductive meeting, a failed project, or even just a brief moment of frustration. However, instead of letting these things undermine our confidence, try a simple yet powerful habit: an obstacle journal every night. Before bed, take a few minutes to jot down one obstacle you encountered during the day. It doesn't need to be something monumental. Sometimes, even small failures can hold important lessons. For example, if you failed at giving a presentation today, you might write down the lesson of crafting more concise and inspiring stories. Next time, if you experienced a setback in your first business venture, instead of spiraling into regret, view it as an opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of the market and better prepare for the future. The key here is not to console yourself with empty words, but to train your mind to see opportunities even in failure. Over time, you'll stop seeing obstacles as enemies and start recognizing them as essential parts of your growth journey. Just one page a night is all it takes, but over time, it builds a sturdy bridge, helping you cross life's turbulent waters with calm and resilience. Those small journal entries become your training ground, forging the habits of a Stoic warrior. The real fear behind obstacles isn't their size. It's the belief that we can't overcome them. It's that belief, not the actual difficulty, that binds us. Once you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" everything changes. The questions you ask determine the quality of your life. And Stoicism is essentially the art of asking the right questions. No one can avoid hardship, But we can choose whether to become a victim of circumstance or use those very stones to pave the road forward. Remember, the river doesn't stop when it meets a rock. It simply changes shape and continues flowing. And when you find yourself able to stand strong amid adversity, don't become complacent, because another test is always waiting. When faced with something too difficult, will you automatically assume it's impossible? Marcus Aurelius reminds us not to assume something is impossible simply because it feels hard. This is a powerful reminder and the key to unlocking the next door. On your journey to heal your mind and steady your heart, it's not about assuming something is impossible, but recognizing that if it's humanly possible, you can do it too. Marcus Aurelius once taught us a core principle in Stoic philosophy: universal attainability. Facing difficulties doesn't mean you're incapable. Sometimes challenges are just signs that you're moving in the right direction, getting closer to something greater. We often see someone succeed and immediately think, they're better than me. They're luckier. They had better circumstances. Our brains quickly paint a bleak picture, making our efforts seem pointless. But we forget one simple truth: they are human too. If one person has done it, you can do it too. Marcus Aurelius's words aren't meant to console you. They're a tool for thinking, forcing you to rethink the link between difficulty and impossibility. Struggles aren't a verdict on your abilities. They are a mirror reflecting your inner strength. Feelings of exhaustion and discouragement are actually signs that you're expanding your limits. There are people who taught themselves to code and switched careers at age 35. They endured sleepless nights, humiliating failures, and mornings when they didn't know where to begin. Yet, they kept moving forward, writing one more line of code every day, because they understood, if others can do it, so can they. And one day, you'll realize it too. Everything is possible if you persist. If you don't give up, you can do it. We just talked about how small actions can build up to big changes over time. But sometimes, the hardest part isn't the actions we take, it's simply getting started when everything feels overwhelming. That's when we find the real power of persistence. There was once a woman who, some days, was so exhausted that she would fall asleep right on top of her books. Yet, despite her fatigue, she never gave up. She pushed through the long nights, the doubts, the exhaustion, until 3 years later, she became an ESL teacher. Her story wasn't just about endurance, though. It became about inspiration, as she now helps hundreds of other learners navigate their own challenges, just like she did. I also remember reading about a young girl who lost her sight when she was very young. Yet, she stood proudly on a TEDx stage, sharing her story of overcoming adversity. Can you imagine that? Standing in front of a crowd, speaking openly about the obstacles life threw her way. Her words stuck with me. I don't need eyes to see my future. Those words resonate because they remind us that it's not the circumstances that define us, it's our response to them. She continued, saying, "These people are not superheroes. They too have known fear and failure like anyone else. The only thing that set them apart was their choice to believe. If someone, somewhere in this world, has achieved what once seemed impossible. Then so can you, and from that belief, she opened doors for herself, and in truth, so can you, so can all of us. On the days when you feel utterly drained, when the weight of your own thoughts seems unbearable, don't focus on trying to conquer fear or defeat your mind. Instead, take one small action. That's it. You don't need to achieve everything at once. Even the smallest step you take today matters, not to prove anything to others, but to prove something to yourself. That's the essence of what it means to be human, to realize what we are capable of, even in the smallest of ways. Open a book, write a journal entry, do a short workout, or send that email you've been putting off. Each tiny act builds inner strength, like each hammer strikes, slowly chipping away at stone. You may not see immediate results, but every strike, no matter how small, counts. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, lived through a time of great turmoil and conflict. But despite all that, he maintained the Stoic spirit, understanding that every challenge wasn't there to break him but to forge him. This mindset is powerful. Challenges aren't here to defeat you. They are here to reveal who you can become. Remember, difficulties don't define who you are, they reveal your potential. Let the words of the Stoics guide you. Do not fear exhaustion. Do not back down when faced with uncertainty. Take action, because every small step you take today is a brick laid toward a stronger, better version of yourself tomorrow. As Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." It makes me wonder, what is weighing most heavily on your mind right now? Is it the constant noise, the plans left unfinished, the unanswered messages that haunt you? In today's noisy, pressure-filled world, Epictetus's words offer us a simple but profound truth. To truly be free, we must first master ourselves. True freedom isn't about doing whatever we want whenever we want. It's about the ability to control our impulses, the very ones that often drive us to lash out in frustration, to get lost in endless distractions, or to let external pressures rattle our inner peace. Every time we let stress dictate our responses, or let social media dominate our attention, it's not the circumstances that are being tested, it's our inner strength, our ability to stay composed amidst chaos. Self-mastery, not external conditions, is the real determinant of our freedom. Just imagine this: spending the first 2 hours of your day with all phone notifications turned off. No Facebook, no emails, no messages, just you in the quiet. Does that sound impossible? It's not. Negligence. It's a conscious decision, a choice to reclaim your space, your focus, your time for clear thinking and calm decisions. And guess what? A study from the University of California showed that simply turning off notifications during this time can increase your work performance by up to 40%. That's not just productivity, it's a victory of inner discipline over the noise of the outside world. But of course, the challenges don't stop there. A harsh email, an irritating message, or an unexpected criticism, these are just a few of the external tests that will come your way. How will you respond? Will you let them throw you off balance? Or will you stay grounded, remembering that it's not the challenges themselves that define you, but how you choose to react to them. Now, let's dive deeper into how we can continue mastering ourselves. Returning to the inner battles we face daily, there are moments when anger or stress can easily rise up and take control of us. So, how do we avoid letting emotions dictate our actions? There's a simple principle Stoicism teaches, the rule of 2 breaths. Before reacting, take 2 deep breaths. Just that brief pause allows anger to subside and gives reason a chance to intervene. This is how we practice true freedom, the freedom to not let emotions rule over us. Imagine. Every impulsive thought is like a raindrop sliding down a car windshield. Alone, each drop seems harmless, but when they gather and thicken, they blur our vision and lead us astray. Inner discipline is the silent wiper blade, patiently sweeping away each ripple of emotion, keeping your mind clear and your path steady. Only when we learn to control ourselves do we truly become free. Not the freedom to avoid challenges, but the freedom to face them without losing our resolve. The truly free person is not someone who always enjoys good fortune, but someone who stands firm through any storm. Pay attention to the small victories every day. When you hold back from speaking a harsh word, when you resist the urge to mindlessly check your phone, when you accept rejection without letting your pride flare up. These victories are not insignificant. They are the first stones in building a stronghold within your mind, a place where external pressures and forces can no longer easily breach. Slow down. Take a deep breath. Listen amidst the noise. Can you feel it? Your heartbeat becoming steadier? The negative thoughts fading away like mist under the morning sun. You are choosing to heal. You are choosing to stay steady. Epictetus was right. Freedom begins within. And every day, with each small yet steady action, you are unlocking the door to that freedom with your own hands. Epictetus once said, "The wise man is not grieved by what he lacks, but rejoices in what he has." An old phone, a worn-out umbrella, or simply the moment you watch clouds drifting past a rooftop corner. It's these small, seemingly insignificant things that become powerful remedies for the soul. Here's a simple habit that can work wonders. Each night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. After just 10 days, you'll notice a significant reduction in stress and anxiety. Gratitude, in Stoic philosophy, is not just a reminder to be content. It is a true weapon, a shield for the mind against the instinct to compare and feel dissatisfied. This instinct quietly gnaws away at our peace. Today, just one scroll through social media exposes you to hundreds of lives that seem more glamorous, more successful, making it all too easy to feel inferior and deprived. This constant silent comparison steadily erodes our inner calm. Epictetus, in his remarkable simplicity, pointed out that the wise do not waste their lives lamenting what they lack. They choose to focus on what is already present. This isn't just spiritual advice. It's a practical strategy for staying grounded in an age overwhelmed by noise and the pressure to achieve. You don't need to create an elaborate list. Start small. Each night, simply write down 3 things you felt grateful for that day. A hot cup of tea, a warm smile from a stranger, or the sight of leaves swaying outside your window. You could even turn it into a small game. Take 5 photos each day capturing simple, precious moments around you. Call it your gratitude tour, a journey to discover the quiet beauty already present in your life. Such simple actions do more than soothe the quiet anxieties within. They reset the way you see the world. A mind once clouded by endless comparisons begins to clear. You slowly realize you already have more than you thought. By choosing joy over sorrow, you are choosing to become a steady rock amid the storm, refusing to let what you have yet to achieve steal your inner peace. You become steadier, calmer, like a silent river flowing through the flood season. You do not fight noisily. You simply preserve your peace quietly. And remember, it is precisely in the moments when you feel most deprived that returning to the simplest things holds the power to refill your heart. Those gratitude photos, those small nightly notes, they are the silent compasses gently reminding you that you are alive. And you already have countless reasons to rejoice. If you've read this far, share a quote from the video that touched your heart the most. And tell me one small action you'll take today to nurture your gratitude. As we reflect on the importance of gratitude, we come to realize it's not just a balm for our mind, but a source of strength for the heart. Gratitude gives us the power to remain grounded, no matter the storms life throws at us. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, painted a powerful image when he described time as a river of violent, ever-moving stream. Imagine a river constantly flowing. As soon as one event, one moment, passes, another immediately takes its place. That moment, the one you just experienced, is already gone. No matter how tightly you try to hold onto it, it slips away just like water running through your fingers. As soon as a thing has been seen, it is carried away and another comes in its place. Time moves forward, and there's no stopping it. Have you ever truly stopped to watch the flow of time, to observe how every second, once it touches you, is swept away? Perhaps right now, you're caught in a storm of anxious thoughts, imagining worst-case scenarios. Your mind may be tangled in the stress of work or family troubles. But think about it. Every leaf that falls, every glance, every word spoken, they all drift past us, never to return. Just a moment ago, you were reading the first line of this paragraph, and now it's already a memory. Time is like a river. Even if you grasp for it, trying to hold on to that one precious moment, it slips through your fingers. You can't stop it. You can't hold back the tide of time. Each moment, each feeling, each person one by one, they drift past you. That's the nature of time. It keeps flowing, regardless of your desire to pause it. Marcus Aurelius didn't just describe this in his meditations. He urged us to remember it, to memento mori. Remember that you will die. It sounds grim, but it's not a curse. It's a wake-up call to recognize how precious every moment is. Instead of just sitting through another endless meeting, what if we marked the passing of time differently? What if you set a countdown clock for your 80th birthday? It might seem morbid, but think of how powerful that reminder would be that the days we have are not infinite, and each one that passes is one we'll never get back. We all do it. We promise ourselves that next time we'll be more present, But how many of us realize that next time will never feel like today? How many dinners have you sat through, eyes glued to your phone, scrolling through messages and emails, while the people right in front of you are left in the background of your thoughts? Only when the moment is gone, when time has carried it away, do we realize what we've lost. That dinner, that conversation, that laughter, it's already past, and we can't go back. So today, right now, make a choice. Put down your phone. Give yourself the gift of a meal where the only thing you're focusing on is the person across from you. Let the conversation flow. Let the laughter fill the room. And let the moment be real. Time will keep moving forward. The river will keep flowing. But when it does, you'll know you were present. You won't have to look back with regret, wondering what you missed. We cannot stop the river from flowing, nor do we need to. What we can do, however, is embrace each moment as if it were our last. All the negative thoughts, all the worries, they are but fleeting fragments on the surface of the water. What truly remains is our attitude. We can choose to let go or hold on. In the middle of all the noise, responsibilities, disappointments, and fears, Marcus Aurelius gently reminds us, heal your mind, strengthen your heart. Even when your mind conjures terrifying visions or fear whispers in your ear, you can still choose to stand strong. Stand quietly by the shore, watch the water flow by, and be grateful for the chance to witness it all. The river will keep flowing, but you'll be standing firm, anchored in the present. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. And with that choice, the flow of time becomes not a force to fear, but a gift to embrace. And as the river continues to move, we turn our attention to what really matters in those fleeting moments. What will you choose today? Marcus Aurelius' words are not just a simple encouragement. They are a deep reminder that the power to control your emotions has always been in your hands, never in anyone else's. When someone criticizes, judges, or belittles you, their words alone have no power to harm you. It's your decision whether or not to let those words affect you. That is where the pain begins, the choice to care. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great minds of Stoic philosophy, taught us a vital lesson in freedom, the art of refusing to be hurt. Whatever others say or do, if you do not allow it to penetrate your mind, it will have no power over you. Being insulted does not mean you must feel insulted. The only person who has the right to decide that is you. Imagine a negative comment on social media. In an instant, you feel offended, angry, and wronged. Your instinct pushes you to react, to fight back, to prove yourself right. But the moment you do that, you silently hand over control of your emotions to someone else. The more you argue, the more you show that you are hurt. And let's be honest, among the thousands of loud opinions every day, how many criticisms truly deserve your attention? Very few. Most of them are just noise. If you let every foolish remark drag you along, you will lose your direction. Instead of resisting, focus on the positive signals. Pin a sincere compliment to the top of your page, not just to remind yourself, but to send a clear message to the world. Good still exists. Every time you face judgment, do not rush to follow your emotions. Ask yourself, does this help me grow? If it does, Embrace it as if you found gold among the dust. If it doesn't, let it float away like a dry leaf on water. This is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about choosing a proactive way of living. Choosing peace over pointless confrontation. At first, it will feel difficult. Our natural reflexes drive us to defend ourselves, to resist. But when reason speaks up, you will see clearly. No one can plant pain in your mind unless you allow it. And training that ability starts with very small actions, like ignoring a taunt, smiling at a biased comment, and holding on to the positive. In a chaotic and easily provoked world, choosing not to be affected is an act of strength. It is how you reset boundaries, how you restore inner balance. It is when you become like a calm river, letting fleeting shadows pass over its surface without disturbing its depth. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." When he said that, he wasn't promising a life free from pain. He was pointing to a door, a path to true freedom, the freedom from fear, from the slavery of impulsive emotions. This path is not easy, but it will make each day lighter, freer, and more profound. And right now, as you read these words, the question is, what will you choose? Will you choose to hold on to peace? Will you steady your heart? And that is how you heal your mind. Together, we've just explored the 8 core messages of Stoicism. From mastering your thoughts, practicing gratitude, to turning every obstacle into a stepping stone. All of it centers around one simple yet powerful idea. You are the master of your own reactions. Now, I want to invite you to take action. Leave a comment below. Which quote from today's video resonated with you the most? And more importantly, how will you start applying it from today? Finally, if this video brought you a moment of peace, a spark of light in a hectic day, please share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to stay with us through the next videos. Every moment we live flows by like a river. Let the words of Stoicism be the steady stones under your feet, grounding your mind, healing your spirit, and strengthening your heart. The next video is already waiting for you here, ready to continue the journey.